Senator Cadell.
Thank you, President. My question is to Minister Wong, the Minister representing the Prime Minister. Minister, I refer to the secret Labor government report based on October data titled Estimated Impacts of CFPS, coal-fired power stations, and associated mine closures in the Australian today. Is it correct that this report models regional job losses in the Hunter, projected unemployment, loss of income to local communities, loss of taxation revenue, and loss of household consumption expenditure in local communities? And when will the Minister and the government release the report in full?
Thank you, Senator Cadell. Minister Wong.
Thank you, President, and thank you to the Senator for the question. I regret to admit that I may not have read every report in The Australian recently. I find it often better to be selective about what I read. But I would make this point. What we saw under the last 9 years in the electricity sector is that we saw, I think it was 4 gigawatts of dispatchable power exit the system, only 1 gigawatt to come in. We saw decisions made by the market.
Minister, please resume your seat. Senator Cadell.
Point of order on relevance. This is about a specific government report.
Thank you, Senator Cadell. Your question was extremely wide-ranging, and it also referred to a report in the Australian. Order. Order. It's not a debating point. You also referred to a report in the Australian and asked the Minister to comment that. Minister, please resume.
I was simply making the point that there have been already closures and the market refusing to invest in coal-fired power because of the lack of policy certainty. And I appreciate the tone with which the Senator asked the question, so I'll try not to divert into the response which talks about the last 9 years. But I would make the point that we do believe providing the market with certainty around transition is important. That is the lowest cost way for this transition to occur. Unlike those on this side actually think you try to get the market to work rather than having taxpayers' fund prop up coal-fired power, which was the position that some on the other side argued. I'm not familiar. I've been upfront with you, Senator. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the actual article in question and whether it refers to a... Well, yes. Okay, I don't read every article in The Australian, Senator Mackenzie. I apologise. No, it's just not the sort of first priority in terms of reading. But anyway, that's okay. But I will endeavour to see
Thank you, Minister.
if the report...
Your time has expired. Senator Cadell, first supplementary.
Thank you, President. I again refer to this secret report, again named Estimated Impacts of CFPS, coal-fired power stations and associated coal mine closures. From your there, it has been reported in that report that this secret report shows a spike in Hunter employment and local jobs of about 800 jobs. Is this distressing news for the Hunter region correct, or is it erroneous?
Minister Wong.
I'm not accepting the assertion around secret report in an article that I have been upfront with you, Senator Cadell, I have not read. But I can say to you that the worst thing for communities is a lack of...
Senator Wong, please resume your seat. Senator Cadell.
I seek leave to table the...
Senator is seeking leave to table a newspaper article. Is leave... No.
Report.
I think the answer is no, Senator Cadell.
They want to keep it secret.
Minister Wong.
Well, there is a... if you
Order. Order.
There is... Are you
Order.
done? Can I keep talking, or would you like to make
Minister, please continue.
We're always so pleased when you and Senator Rennick make a contribution, Senator Van. What I was going to say to you, Senator Cadell, 2 points. One is that there is a usual process for consideration of tabling, which we will observe as a courtesy and a convention. Secondly, I would make the point that what is bad for communities is lack of policy certainty and unplanned exits from of a generation from the system, which is what occurred under the chaos of the previous government. We have no intention of that repeating. We are going to ensure we deal with this transition, which we have been upfront about, in a way that recognises the need to ensure security of supply. And
Senator Cadell, second supplementary.
Thank you, President. Again, I refer to the same document, the estimated impacts of CFPS and associated mine closures. Minister, can you confirm that it's correct that the report is modelled on the assumption there will be a loss of 30% of income for coal-fired power station workers and mine workers in the Hunter? And is the Hunter region the sole focus of this report, or is it wider? And is the government got job losses across Australia?
Thank you, Senator Cadell. Minister.
No, I'm not going to confirm that for the reasons I've articulated previously. And what I would say to those opposite is this: the majority of the global economy has committed to net zero by 2050. If we are not in a position to compete in that global economy, that is what will affect Australia's GDP growth, Australian jobs, and the prosperity of future generations. And I know you all want to think that you can live in the past. We can live in the past and we can go back to the 1950s. But if you're committed to net zero, you're committed to a transition in the Australian economy. The difference between you and us is we will have a plan. We will have a plan. We will implement a plan. We will ensure that we increase Australia's costs.
Minister Wong, please resume your seat. Order. 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 I had to call the minister then about 5 times because there's so much noise in here, my voice can't be heard. I ask you to— Senator Canavan. I am asking you to listen in silence to the remaining time the minister has. Minister.
If those opposite are also committed to net zero, I hope they have a plan too, because we have one and we will implement it and we will give people certainty.